Dun 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 dun. Hi chat! Welcome back. I am ready to die repeatedly, honestly. I honestly wanted a game that I could just play and kind of just yap. Even if there's not many people in chat, then I can just yap. So this is very much a call for help. Just kidding. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing pretty good today. Whenever I woke up this morning, there was a lot of snow, which I was not really expecting. I mean, I should be expecting it. I mean, we are in December after all. However, there was quite a bit of snow, more so than usual. I know we were gonna get a couple inches, at least overnight, but there's definitely more than quote-unquote a couple inches this time, so... Weatherman always lies to... He always lies. I was debating on going out and going to get mail, and then I said, no, it's way too cold for that. I could have bundled up a little bit, maybe put on a jacket or something, but laziness said otherwise, and I was more excited to get started for the stream anyway. So, priorities, am I right? Alright. So I already played Clustertruck before. It's really fun. But there are definitely points in time whenever I would play it and then I would struggle immediately. So there would be levels where I would have to die repeatedly in order to even make a minicrum of progress. We'll start from the beginning, just so that way everyone knows what we're dealing with. But as far as this is my first time playing this game, it's not. I wanted to make sure that this game was fun after all, or at least it would be entertaining to watch. And me dying multiple times? Sure, we'll take it. Let's see. Anything else? I think that's all. I think we're ready to go and just jump right into this. Because I tried my best to actually prepare it for today. I know, shocker. Let's see here. Okay. Hopefully you hear the game. Okay, we're good. Great. At first OBS was not working, but it's okay, we're good now. Actually I'm gonna make me a bit bigger, actually. There we go. Cool. Alright. Yeah, as you can see, I already played a couple of levels already. I guess we'll start from the beginning, just so that way everyone knows what we're doing. As far as any other topics I really wanted to talk about, I feel like one of the big things I really wanted to bring up for today, is just all the stuff that I've been working on, but that was like the original game plan. But then I was like, no, that's probably not the best idea, especially considering I already don't want to spoil too much. But I never really talked about my goals other than on my debut date, obviously. So I guess I can talk a little bit about more about that. As far as debut is concerned, I remember bringing up that I really wanted to reach Twitch affiliate at some point, either in December or January. If it happens before the end of the year, that'd be incredible, but if it doesn't happen, that's okay. Oh god, let me remember how to play this game. Oh my god. Yes, okay, good. We're good to go. I do remember how to play this game. But as far as Twitch affiliate is concerned, it looks like we're already doing pretty good for that, even if I just continue with the pace that I'm at now. so we don't really have to worry too much about Twitch affiliate. Even if it doesn't happen this year, then that's okay. There's always next year. Make it a New Year goal or something along those lines. I think why I even wanted to be a oh god, English. I think the reason why I even wanted to start content creation even to begin with is kind of an interesting story. So I guess I can talk a little bit more about that. So, for a long story short, I would consider YouTube to be my third parent. I watched YouTube very frequently when I was younger, and I think it would be fair to say that I watch YouTube at least every day. Like if I wasn't at school, or if I wasn't worrying about anything, like after homework, I would always watch YouTube, or if I wasn't gaming, it would be YouTube. It was definitely a choice. Obviously YouTube, that much YouTube is probably isn't great for a young mind, but it's okay. That's how it would happen to me. From there, I've found like content creators such as Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, people like that. And I was honestly very inspired because a lot of their work, and they're still going at it today. I mean, they don't upload as frequently anymore, but they're still going at it, and it's been years. They're still working on other projects or going other adventures, and I think that's super inspiring. The fact that they went from just playing games on YouTube to doing something more. It's very inspiring not only as a viewer to just kind of watch that progression, but also just to see and kind of just experience the game with them. I mean, there's a reason why both of them were so popular. From there, I started looking at other gaming channels as well. I mean, I think I discovered Game Grumps not too long after that, and of course, like, all of their stuff is awesome too. I think around at that point, at a very young age, I really found out that I really wanted to do content creation. I knew as much as I wanted to be a YouTuber, I knew that the success rate of people who do YouTube successfully is very low. However, and I remember like talking to like my parents about it, and they were like, "Oh, you're not gonna be a famous YouTuber. That ain't gonna happen. That's unrealistic." And for the most part, they were right. Obviously, I mean, I'm sure every kid nowadays would be like, "Oh, I want to be a influencer," or something like TikTok adjacent. I don't have TikTok, but the premise and idea is still there. Either way, I was like, okay, fine. I won't go be a YouTuber because that's a fair enough. Oh god, I forgot about that jump. Jesus. Either way, they convinced me out of it. They were like, okay, go do something that you can go be successful. Go do something else with your life. And then from there, I decided, you know what, be successful? An artist. I can be a starving artist. And I really loved art. And like, other than the whole YouTube thing, I had a really big passion for art. I had a lot of talent, and I still draw every once in a blue moon nowadays, whenever I have the time. However, whenever I was in high school, is whenever I started honing that craft and started actually taking it more seriously. Because in my mind it was either high school or no-go, so. Yeah, I'm gonna die here, yep. Either way, from there, I found out that, spoiler alert, art college costs an arm and a leg to even attend. To even do such the art college that I wanted, I would be in debt forever. I would be in debt for life. There was no way. And I kind of had that aha moment whenever I went to a program. It was basically a art program for like 2 weeks, like summer camp, but for artists. And I really enjoyed that. I did that around, I believe it was my junior year of high school, whenever my college allowed that and they accepted me for that little program that lasted like 2 weeks. I was basically a college student in that art program for 2 weeks, and that was super fun. I really enjoyed it. However, there was a small problem. They loved my portfolio. They really wanted to lay the red carpet out for me. They loved my work, and they were going to give me a scholarship. And as much as I would have loved a scholarship, even with the scholarship, it would be around $65,000 like a year or something like that. I did art college, or I did community college and high school at the same time. So I already had a associate's degree coming out of high school, and since I wanted an art degree, it was an art one, so I already had an associate of arts coming out. However, even with all of that, this art college still was gonna cost me a fortune. There was no way. I knew that I kind of had that moment where I realized, like, yeah, maybe this isn't a good idea either. Because art colleges obviously cost a bunch, but so do other colleges too. I mean, I know a friend of mine that is going to nursing school, and that's gonna cost a pretty penny. There's obviously I have a couple people that want to be lawyers and have fun in lawyer school, where that also costs a whole bunch too. I realized that the other avenues that I wanted were gonna be a bit iffy. But thankfully for me, I found something that I actually enjoyed, and I actually am passionate about. And I'm even more thankful that I even have the opportunities to be where I'm at right now, and to be able to actually go, you know what? I think I can stream with this schedule, at least for now. We'll see whenever stuff gets a little bit more hectic down the line, but as far as for now is concerned, everything was looking pretty good. I was looking pretty high. The big thing that I had to basically just be more concerned about was just my sleep schedule. I realized that since I am doing, not only am I doing online college at the same time right now, I am also still working full-time. Like, I'm doing college full-time, work full-time, and also streaming at least 3 times a week, because that's the bar I set myself to, which is very much a goal, but I don't know how long someone would be able to actually last with that with that kind of schedule. Because obviously something like that is not, don't want to say it's not realistic, I mean, people can do it, but my sleep schedule has definitely suffered a little bit as a result. Which I guess isn't too bad. I mean, I get a decent amount of sleep, not saying that I never sleep. I don't want to go as far as to say I'm nocturnal, but no, it wouldn't be completely incorrect, at least at this point, with my schedule as it is right now. But as far as anything else was concerned, I realized that my sleep schedule was, this isn't gonna fly, because sleep, my dear viewer, you need sleep. It's a non-negotiable. So I will definitely figure that out more as I continue on with the streaming stuff, obviously. We'll get there as time goes on. It'll take me a little bit, but we'll get there. I'm obviously still new and I will still say I'm new, even if we're like near the end of December or in the beginning of January. Still a noob. Still just trying to enjoy myself, because that's all my goal is. I feel like, oh god, I forgot that this level does that. Yeah, that was gonna happen. One of the things that I did not want to shoehorn myself into was not enjoying myself. Because that's the whole reason for doing this in the first place. I wanted, dang it, I think I could have done that. One of the main reasons why I'm doing this is to have fun. And I feel like that's different in comparison to most people. Because I feel like a lot of streamers, I don't want to say they quit their jobs immediately before diving headfirst into streaming. I'm sure they have that goal in mind, but that isn't really in the cards for me. So I think as far as I'm concerned, my only goal is to have fun, and that's it. As long as I'm having fun, I'll consider it a win. Oh god, boulders! No! Okay, oh no! Dang it, okay. I think I could actually beat this level. Hold on. I was stuck on this level for a while because I would be hit by a rock, or whenever I would jump, the trucks won't be where I want them to be. Like right now. But we'll get there at some point. Hold on. Let me cook. There we go. I was like, I know I can do this. Hold on. One of the biggest things that I basically just told my my parents, it was just like, hey, this is just totally for fun. But they were like, oh, you're gonna be an anime girl online? And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, basically. I wanna thank them for being so supportive. I mean, I knew that they were going to be, at least as far as like whenever I was getting everything commissioned and started and was like, you know what, I'm serious, we're gonna do this. I kind of knew that my parents would have been okay with it. They already have a job already. I already have a plan A lined up already. So there was no risk of, oh god, she's gonna be poor and then she's gonna be living on the street or something. There's nothing like that. But whenever I told them, they did not know what a VTuber even was. They were like, oh, is that just like an anime girl? And I'm like, oh, I mean, technically, but that's something I kind of just I hopefully have told both of them in order to actually distinguish the difference. But because, at least in my opinion, I feel like VTubing is very much a medium, not really its own thing. For example, whenever you have movies, you have thrillers, you have, like, I don't know, like, crime or, like, crime novels, you have all sorts of different genres of stuff to watch. And I feel like there's definitely different genres of VTubers. It's kind of like anime. Like, anime isn't really its own. As much as anime is its own thing, it's also very much an art form. It's a medium. Like, you can have anime that's like a mystery, or I don't know, or an isekai. There's many different styles and ways you can go with that. And I kind of explained that's how VTubing was. And whenever I explain to them, like, my whole concept, they're like, oh, so you're gonna be a big-chested anime girl? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna be an astronaut, and they're like, oh god damn it. I think they actually liked my the concept art that I showed them. Whenever I got my design officially, like, hammered out, this is what I was gonna do. I keep dying in this level, I'm gonna do a new one. My mom really liked the design, I think so did my dad. So at least I got that going for me. And besides, I realized that I didn't realize, more so that I noticed. It seems like there wasn't that many astronaut VTubers in this space. Don't get me wrong, there's a couple, but whenever I was doing some research, there was not many, at least at the time. I really wanted to do something that would stand out and be unique. And I was like, okay, hear me out, astronaut, but cute. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Yippee! Yippee! Oh god. Oh yeah, remember when I told you guys I died a lot in these levels? This was one of them. Very daunting. Let's see, what else? Oh, I remember talking to Chad a little bit the other day about different Pokemon Nuzlockes that I wanted to do. I remember we were talking about different regions and stuff like that. I wanted to bring up that I did do some more research. It looks like I can probably do a Nuzlocke, more so than I thought I was going to. Like, I knew that it was going to be possible, I just wanted to make sure that it was actually more feasible. And I found out that, yeah, I can probably do a Nuzlocke a little bit sooner than I thought. Because at first I was like, oh, I really want to get a game, or a display, or a capture card for a DS, because I do have a DS. And I was like, okay, we can just start from scratch, that's okay. But then I realized, like, wait a minute, there's probably so many emulators out there, I could probably just do one of those. And those are free, and like, you can find those online. Those are pretty easy to find. And as far as which generation I want to do, that's a better question. Because there are so many good freaking Pokemon games to Nuzlocke. I feel like there's no big wrong answers. There's definitely gens that are more difficult than others, that's for sure. But I guess that is definitely a... Damn it, hoping I would pass that level, damn it. There are definitely regions that are definitely harder, and definitely not beginner friendly. You would have to do a little bit more planning involved if you want to do some of those generations. I also discovered, at least I think I discovered, one of the main reasons why there's not many Pokemon Black and White Nuzlockes. I think it's because it's genuinely is challenging on either on the UI front, because battles are treated like slightly differently. And when I say slightly, I mean more so like in some of the Gen 5 mechanics. A lot of people are used to Gen 4 or Gen 3 with all of their stuff, but Pokemon Black and White is a little bit different. So I feel like that's why there's not many Nuzlockes of that gen. I could be wrong, but at least that's the conclusion that I came to. Is that gonna stop me? Probably not. I'll probably... Dang it, I ran face first into a tree. That probably isn't gonna stop me from Nuzlocking Pokemon Black and White at some point. I'll probably start out with something else though instead. most likely... Dang, this level's hard too. Okay. I'm thinking, hold on, I just forgot how this level works. Ow! Come on. Come on! Yeah. Hold on, let me lock in, and then I'll talk. Hold on. Come on! The goal's right there! It's right there! I'm looking. There we go. Jesus. But yeah. I feel like one of the generations I was mainly considering would be Pokemon Platinum. I feel like that would be a good idea. Not only have I played a lot of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which, spoiler alert, Pokemon Platinum does do some things differently. So it would be an interesting, it would be familiar but different at the same time. So it would still definitely be a new, quote-unquote, new experience, at least for me. It'll be at least fun to watch. I would hope, at least. Especially as someone who I've Nuzlocked at least a couple times before. Not officially, mind you, but at least kind of. Like, I would test myself and be like, okay, we're gonna do a Nuzlocke, and then, like, halfway through, I would be at, like, the 6th gym badge, and then I would say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, I just want to have fun. But I feel like I can actually do a Nuzlocke of Platinum if I just do a little bit more research. I feel like that would be a great video as well for YouTube. Oh god, a VTuber is doing a Nuzlocke. Here we go. Oh, dang it. I keep doing really well, and then once I get near the end with that roll, like, this part up here, it gets so hard. Alright, you and me, Truck. Together to the end. Don't fall off the edge. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Woo! Woo! Jump. Oh shit. Can I go around? No. Okay. So I can't just wait until the trucks get there. I have to actually move. I have to actually move it. Dang it. I need to time that properly. Oh, you can actually see the pillar thing as it goes down. I didn't see that the first time. I guess I can also talk about why I chose VTubing to begin with as a content creation as a content creator, rather than normal live streaming and stuff like that. Long story short, I saw VTubing as another medium just to basically express myself. As much as I totally could just be a normal live streamer or do a face cam, I like the creative aspect of VTubing a little bit more. I think it's great how with VTubing you can be whatever character you want to be, basically. That's why so many people in the sphere choose to be like some sort of like mythical creature or something. As much as I didn't want to do that, I did not want to be some sort of mythical creature. I did like the creative way of it. I saw it as a way to express myself in a different way, and I feel like that was so unique and so different in comparison to the normal is what I'm used to. At least I feel like VTubing kind of boomed in 2020 in COVID, and whenever all of that situation was going down, obviously. Everyone was in their rooms, they didn't have anything to watch. People discovered VTubers, and then it started getting big. And then it obviously spread from the other side of the world and over to here, or in the United States. And from there, we got a whole bunch of other creatives and VTuber debuts with all their really pretty designs. And I really like that. I like that people could be so expressive with their models and not have to use a face cam. Obviously, I am not, don't get me wrong, I'm not the most expressive model right now, obviously. But later on I will, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But I really did enjoy that creative aspect to it. I thought that was so cool. And I feel like that was one of the big inspirations to why I even chose VTubing to begin with. I wasn't big on I admit I wasn't big on VTubers. I don't want to say I'm a complete normie. I don't want to say that. But I do want to say, at least in comparison to the average viewer, I definitely I watch a lot more IRL streamers than VTubers. Like, there's only a very select handful of VTubers that I do watch on a consistent basis, and I do like their content. I feel like the big reason for that was because I admittedly have such a hectic schedule in my life already that if I were to basically try to catch up with the streamers, or my schedule and their schedule was definitely not gonna align. There was no way that I would be able to catch the actual stream itself. So I admit I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. I have YouTube playing in the background while I work, or if I have YouTube premium music going on in the background while I have something to listen to. So I'm more of a final video highlights person than an actual like, oh I need to go catch up with a VOD. Which I will on occasion. I will, depending on the stream. If the stream is a game that I'm interested in, I'll definitely watch the VOD, or if it's one of my friends that's streaming as well, I'll obviously watch the VOD as well. And then I can message them like, hey, I watched your VOD, it was really funny. Or it was really good, or something along those lines. Oh god, I forgot this one has a timer. Woo! Hold on. Okay, good. I didn't want to be under pressure. But I feel like that was one of the big reasons, at least to why I'm even doing this to begin with. As far as live streaming is concerned, I'm still obviously not used to live streaming. Or Twitch to begin with, especially with all of the Twitch drama that always occurs seemingly on a monthly basis. So as much as I'm not the biggest fan of that, I do recognize that if I do this, like, I don't have to, like, a VTuber doesn't have to be a live streamer, you know what I mean? They can still make content in other ways. They could still do YouTube stuff, and it doesn't have to be a live stream. But, at least for me, I like to play games. In fact, I wanted to play more games. One of the big reasons why I wanted to be a VTuber even to begin with was to force myself to play more video games. So I felt like I was missing out on that, at least recently. So I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be Not only will I force myself to have fun, but I will force myself to play video games. To give myself those breaks, you know what I mean? And I can say, at least for now, I am definitely enjoying myself as I learn, because spoiler alert, streaming is not the easiest thing in the world, at least in comparison to the stuff that I've done. I obviously wanted to... Jesus, why is this harder than I this level seems a little bit harder than I remember. Okay, sorry, I just had to lock in. Alright, what was I saying before? Oh yeah. As far as... Jesus. As far as gaming is concerned, and how I'm enjoying things so far, I can definitely say that I am enjoying things so far, at least for now. I obviously like to learn. I think that's one of my biggest strengths. I feel like, as far as stuff is concerned, as long as I'm learning, I'll consider it an absolute win. Because to me, I feel like learning actually feels very fulfilling. And if I am learning, I'll consider that a win. Because at least I learned something new. Oh jeez. I don't remember this level being too difficult. But we'll see. I could be a huge liar, and I am about to get proven wrong by dying multiple times. Okay, that wasn't that bad. This level makes me feel like I'm in the movie The Matrix. Like, because I have to dodge so many things. Or like one of those scenes in like a... You know, those movies that have the, like the robbers are trying to rob a bank, and then there's the whole, like, undercover, like, agent, like, area room where you have to do a whole bunch of, like, there's a whole bunch of lasers. Woo! I needed that! No, too bad it was short-lived. I'm not gonna skip this one, I think I know what I'm doing. Come on! Come on! There we go. I knew I could do this. Oh yeah, I ran straight into that. Fuck. That was the last one! That was the last little set of the lasers! Okay. I think I'm pretty sure I can do this. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, I do know what I'm doing. Ooh, this one was hard. Because the timing was so weird. Ugh. There we go. Oh my god. Oh. This one I remember being kind of difficult just because there's so much going on. Oh, that's something else I can talk about. I got a couple people in DMs, at least on Twitter. Either they watched my debut or at least watched my first little gaming stream. Or they're lurking in chat, I guess. Or they'll catch up with the VOD. Either way, long story short, I had a lot of people asking me if I was still open for editors. And the answer is yes. I'm still down to looking forward to working with more people. I feel like this is arguably one of the more unique stages in content creation, making sure you have enough people working for you to help you out, you know what I mean? But if you definitely want to join the little team, Avengers Assemble, you definitely can, if you're interested. If you happen to be a video editor or clipper or something along those lines. As long as I see your portfolio, and I think your stuff is good, then you're good, basically. I don't really have a lot of, major requirements, per se. But it is paid work. I am paying people for editing, so... And depending on if they're willing to do full-time and stuff, I'll absolutely pay people if they definitely want to work for me full-time. Because I can definitely support that. It'll definitely be more interesting whenever stuff gets more established, per se. But I did at least wanted to mention that for anybody who is interested. Whoa! I don't know how I saved that! Whoa, no! Woo! Oh, I saved that! Let's go! Let's see. I usually go through commissions, or at least I found my first couple people that I was interested in working with on VGen, because VGen is a great platform, especially for VTubers. There's plenty of artists, writers, editors, you name it, over there. So I highly recommend if you're starting out, you can definitely check over there. And you can definitely make sure you set a budget, because you will absolutely get addicted to commissioning art, because there's so many amazing artists, so don't get addicted. Like I may or may not have did. I definitely want to post on Twitter that I was still looking for any VGen artists that have commissions open, because I'm always working. Whenever I work on projects, I always work on stuff in advance. There's always stuff going on in the background that I just either I don't want to talk about because it'll be a spoiler and it would spoil all the fun, or I'm still trying to work it out and I'm still trying to work out all the issues myself. But either way, I still want to definitely commission some more artists for any other future projects. And for example, I already have a couple backgrounds that I want to do with my new debut, but I can't show them yet because it would have to be with my 2.0. I wanted to do them with my 2.0. I really wanted to show them off, but I realized that if I want them, for one, I want them animated. Right now they're currently static. And And the other thing is, as well, I wanted to build up some more hype for my 2.0. Because as much I'm sure people were excited for me to debut in the first place, I'm sure tiny little chibi model was definitely not what they were expecting for a first VTuber debut, but I definitely think it was the smartest option. Because for starting out, I really wanted to make sure that this was what I wanted to do before I spent a bajillion dollars on a fancy model. I wanted to make sure, at least, because there's nothing wrong with being too sure. And as far as I would say budgeting is concerned, oh Jesus. Oh, sorry, hold on. There we go. As far as budgeting is concerned, it's not wise to put all your eggs in one basket, especially before you even start. At least that's not only the advice that I have received, but at least the idea that I was given. But yeah, I need to go a bit farther for that. Jesus. But I just wanted to be absolutely sure that this was good and that this would be fun. And I can happily say that even though it's only been like 3 streams, it's been fun. So I'll consider that a win. No, don't die, don't die. There we go. Whoa, Jesus. Come on! There we go. There we go. Sorry, I had to lock in for a minute. Some more advice that I have received as well, just in general, that I was gonna do anyway, but it is still definitely good advice, so I'll definitely share it. If anyone is planning on doing the same thing that I'm doing, or being a VTuber, dang it, I didn't want to die there, is to watch the VOD that you have done. People react like, oh god, I'm gonna have to hear myself talk? And the answer is yes, because you are a streamer, which means people have to get used to you talking. So figure out and number one, figure it out, and number 2, get used to it, because that's that's in the job description. So at least for every VOD, or at least for now, I will definitely watch VODs and definitely see where I can improve, what stuff needs fixed, or what stuff can I do that's obviously better. That's obviously just normal good advice, but take notes. Have some friends take notes. I had one of my friends take some notes for me, and he gave me some really good advice into why I'm even doing this stream that we're even right now, actually. The advice that I was given was, hey, during your last stream, you definitely didn't know what to do. You didn't know, obviously, like, hey, you're a streamer, you had to, like, talk, obviously. Obviously, like, you don't have to talk 24/7, you can pause, you can be a normal person. But at least in the beginning, there was definitely some hesitancy, and I completely agreed. I was like, okay. In the beginning, I at first was a little bit hesitant, but it was my first stream. Give me a break. I hope it was still very entertaining to watch regardless. But that was the advice that I was given, and I had to agree, because he was right. He was like, you make things a little bit better by actually trying to talk more. And that'll come with time, talking at least to yourself. whenever you either have a very sparse chat where there's not many people to talk to, or you have to talk to yourself. But at the end of the day, you are still talking to yourself, which is definitely going to feel weird for the first people, or at least for the first streams that someone does. Dang it. But obviously, some of that will come with time, some of that will come with practice, which is why we're here today. Because feedback is good. Feedback is always good. And then there's obviously some stuff that you can't fix sometimes. Oh god, I'm gonna hit a wall. Damn it. Sometimes there's stuff that you can't fix, at least stuff that's out of your control. And I had to learn this the hard way in life. To only actually care about the stuff that is actually within your capability and stuff that you are actually able to... Dang it. That you are actually able to control. I think that's just general good life lessons. But overall, if you are a person that easily gets stressed out over things, the biggest advice that I have for you is to stop, evaluate, damn it, and see what stuff is actually within your capability. What stuff can you control? Because if there's something you don't like, or if someone mentions like, hey, you need to fix this, you need to do something about it. Oh god. You need to evaluate if that's even within your capability to even do so. You know what I mean? Because if something is not even within your capability, how are you going to improve if number one, if you can't even recognize that something is out of your skill range. I don't have enough experience points for that. Or something that is quite literally outside of your realm of expertise, knowledge, or just general know-how. One thing that I noticed, at least for my streams, whenever I was watching the last VOD that I did, I was still not the biggest fan of the overall, I would say resolution / quality / general of the stream overall. And when I say quality, I mean more in terms of like the video itself. Not really like, oh god, this sucks. Not really that. I don't want to say it like just downright it sucks. Because it wasn't horrible. But on Twitch, at least to my knowledge, Twitch basically limits the bitrate that you are allowed to have as a streamer, or as a non-affiliate / non-partner, and it's like 6,000 or something along those lines, if I am remembering correctly. And at least with some of the settings that I've done, this 6,000 is literally the limit, at least for a non-partnered streamer. This level's too hard, I'm gonna go to another one. Okay. There's definitely... I really wanted to improve that, and I was looking at all the ways that I could, theoretically speaking, improve that. But Twitch, even if, for example, on my end, if I limit it to... if I set the bitrate to 10,000 on YouTube, or on my end, Twitch will still definitely limit it on their end. Just because it's 10,000 on my end doesn't mean that Twitch will accommodate. Per se, at least. So I was like, okay, that is literally outside of my realm. Okay, this level's really hard too. I'm not gonna do this one either. Ooh, wait, this is the level I'm stuck on. Shit. Okay, well, I'm gonna die repeatedly at this level. But as long as we're doing it together, that's all that matters. No, don't leave, don't leave. Thank you. I have no idea how to do this properly, because there is... Ooh. Actually, I think I just figured it out. Hold on. Let me lock in. Oh. Sorry, I got ran over. Dang it. Yeah, this is hard. Okay, this section right here, this isn't bad. This part right here, a little hard, because you have to kind of land sideways, which is definitely a bit weird whenever you're kind of in the air, obviously. I know it's possible, because I got really far, but at least as far as getting to the point where you have to basically maneuver yourself and turn over, it's really hard. And then at the final stretch, at like the very the end of like the level, that part is super hard. I don't even know how to even jump over on the other side over there. Unless I'm smart and I actually think I just figured it out. But that'll depend if I can even land this first hard jump to begin with. No! That's another thing. If you build up too much motion as well as you're going through the air, it's hard to course correct as well. So it's also difficult on two angles. Yeah, no. Jeez, that is so hard. That is so difficult. How in the world am I going to do this? Hold on, maybe my stubbornness will say otherwise, but we can see if I'm able to actually do something here. Too much. Come on, I got it like the first try whenever I first got to this level. What happened? Ooh, that worked. Okay. So, I'm thinking probably need to move in here? Yes and no? Oh, I'm not sure. I can't tell. I don't know how lucky I'm supposed to be if I launch myself over there. And if a truck just so happens to land on my... or I'm supposed to land on a truck. Just kind of like that. It feels like a be there at the right place at the right time sort of gig. That's at least what it feels like. And I have never been there at the right time. This level is very hard, though. At least for me. If I keep struggling too much, I might switch gears and we can do something else. I'm just using the game as an excuse to yap. Because yapping is all that matters. Okay, we're here. Let me see if I can... Oh, no! If that pillar wasn't there, I think this could be easier. But since that pillar is there, that makes this, like, 11 times harder. The other day, I updated my throne wish list because Christmas is a-comin', and I wanted to at least buy some presents for my friends, even my online ones, or anybody that has helped me out with this journey. That way I can at least show some support. And spread some Christmas joy, because who doesn't love that? Oh my god, please. Nope. Got excited there, damn it. So I updated my throne in advance, so that way if someone were to actually get me something, then I can at least put something there. So at least for now, or at least originally, there was a whole bunch of stickers, which, don't get me wrong, I love stickers. But I wanted to add a little bit more variety. I obviously, like I mentioned in my debut stream, or I think I did at least. Or at least I mentioned on Twitter, I don't remember. Either way, I mentioned that I really love plushies. So I added a Mewtwo plushie, because that is my favorite Pokemon and I will die on this hill. No, I'm not a Gen 1 purist, but Mewtwo is my favorite, and I was like, oh my god, I can get like the official, like, Sitting Cuties, which is like the official Pokemon plushies from the Pokemon Center. And Mewtwo, my favorite, they have a Sitting Cutie of Mewtwo. To be fair though, I'm pretty sure they have a Sitting Cutie of all of the Pokemon. Every... how many Pokemon are we at now? Over 1,000? That would be a big dream of mine, actually. I know that there's a Pokemon Center over in, I think it's Japan. Pretty sure it's Japan. And, dang it. I would love to go there at some point. Even if I were to go to Japan for nerd stuff, I feel like I would have so much fun. I feel like I would have to do 2 trips. One trip is just nerd stuff, the other is actual, like, oh, go experience the culture and stuff like that. go do some sightseeing, stuff like that. I suppose there's like a bunch of places that I wouldn't mind going to in the future. I always wanted to go to Germany at some point. I feel like that would be such a cool trip to do at some point in my life. I would love to do Germany. I feel like Greece would be super cool as well, or Rome or something like that. Both of those would be super cool. Enough, obviously Japan. I already mentioned that one though. I have to admit, I'm a little scared though, because I don't know how reliant on the language you have to be. I'm sure everyone over there knows English, I'm sure. But as far as, I'm like, okay, they know English, but how is that, are we still gonna be good though? Because just because a country can speak English doesn't mean like they're gonna actually help you, I guess. Dang it. At first I was using Duolingo to learn, because I genuinely do like learning languages. Whenever I was in high school, I took college Spanish, because I did college classes in high school. Yes, I'm a nerd, don't rub it in. Whenever I did college Spanish, I really enjoyed it. I picked up on it really quickly, and admittedly, the teacher basically forced us to do Duolingo a lot. Which, don't get me wrong, Duo is great, but for one, I don't think it should be the #1 learning, completely substitute all learning for Duolingo. I don't think that's like the best idea in the world, but... And on the other hand, I also don't think all the AI stuff that came out about Duolingo is also pretty great either. Because Duo, if you haven't heard, came out recently and said that they are going to be using AI for a lot of their like lessons and stuff like that. Which, for me, was kind of a huge shift in hearing, because the original founder or whatever, he at least in the original team or something along those lines. Dang. The original team, they were, at least it seemed like they valued in, like, person in collaboration and stuff like that. They seemed to, out of all the people to not be fans of AI, it seemed like it would be that company or team per se. But then the CEO came out and said, hey, we're gonna start using AI now. And everyone and their mom turned on Duolingo in what I would assume is less than 24 hours. A lot of people were really upset because a lot of the, as you go along, a lot of the lessons in Duolingo, like you could tell that it was either made with AI or nobody was checking the AI prompter or something. But the lessons and like, oh, input this sentence, and then you put in the sentence, and then it's whatever you got, it was just complete gibberish. But everyone is pretty much against Duolingo now, at least from what I'm tracking. Or at least from what I'm aware of. This level is so hard. That's... This is so hard. Okay, I'm gonna keep trying this level a couple more times, and then we might switch gears, and I might just talk for a little bit longer. We'll see. So hard. Oh my goodness. Nope. Not even close. No! That truck was slippery. Hold on, I can do this. Hold on. Yeah, how do you do that? Even if I were to be faster and go over, it would be so hard to actually maneuver yourself to actually switch over. Unless I'm doing this wrong. How would you do that? Jesus. At least the music is fun. Ow. I also got new emotes as well. They're animated and they're all fun. The only issue is I commissioned 6 of them, but I failed to realize that Twitch is only giving me 5 spots for emotes. So that means I did not have the one. The other one is just waiting miserably because I couldn't release it yet. So I'm really excited to eventually fill that slot at some point, and so that way I can actually get that emote in there. Cause I feel bad. I'm like, oh, sorry, this is my fault. I couldn't count. I thought a 5 was a 6, or I thought a 5 was a 6. Oh my god, this is so hard. Okay. Couple more times and then I'm gonna call it quits here. I'm gonna throw in the towel. I didn't mean to do that, but I can save it. No, I cannot. I am a liar. Okay. Good so far. Come on. Yeah, how do you do that? Oh my god, it's so hard! This one level is single-handedly kicking my ass. It is so hard. Come on, we can do it. Okay, I'm gonna do like 2 more times, and then I'm gonna call it quits. Before I go outside and go punch a truck. Last time. Trucks, you have one opportunity to defend yourself against my own wrath. Because if I... no, I'm doing it again. Because if I keep failing, I'm gonna go out and punch a truck. Doesn't matter what company, if it's a truck, I'm punching it. Oh? Please. Oh no! That was so close! That was the closest I've ever gotten! No! Oh my god. Now I'm upset. Now I'm gonna want to actually keep trying this. No. No. I said no. We're gonna stop here, otherwise I'm gonna actually fight a truck. And I will win. Oh boy. Okay. I think that's enough trucks for today. At least for now. Very short stream today, I know. Hopefully, not tomorrow, but the day after will be a little bit longer. Thinking maybe I can stay and probably chat a little bit more. I mean, I could probably yap a little bit more. I'm sure I have some more topics to discuss. Let's see if I can do this real quick. Okay, here we are. It was fun to yap. I should have named this stream an excuse for me to yap. I do have a couple errands I need to run today, and I told myself I need to stop putting it off and stop procrastinating, because I am a master level procrastinator. Let me get some music here real quick. Okay. That should be good. Okay. Let's see here. I already went, so the other, I think, for the last, like, couple days, I mean, I already mentioned sleep schedule. That's already been a subtopic I mentioned. But any time that I am experiencing some mild insomnia of sorts, I just go into basically just planning content, because I'm like, oh, if I'm gonna be awake, then I might as well just do something important. I might as well make my time worth it. So I already built out the schedule for December, at least for its entirety, and I already have the schedule like finalized for next week, but I already want to change it. I'm like, no, I want to change some things around, maybe do some new games. Because I guess I could spoil this a little bit. I was originally going to play Hades 1, and then play Hades 2, because I am really good at Hades 1, but I suck at Hades 2. For some reason, I don't know why. It's definitely way harder than the first game, but with Hades 1, I was definitely doing a lot better. True. Someone on YouTube said true. It's not showing up in chat. Anyway, at least with Hades 2, there's definitely a lot more stuff going on. There's definitely a lot more stuff you have to manage and handle. While with Hades 1, it was definitely a bit more simple. And with Hades 1, I felt like I was able to actually keep track of everything a bit better. I got a decently high level heat as well. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it was high. At least by comparison to most, I would say, average players. But as soon as Hades 2 released, and I started playing Hades 2, I realized that I suck at Hades 2. I admit that I managed to defeat Kronos every once in a blue moon. Ignore that. No fear, no fear. I don't do any fear on Hades 2 at all, just because I suck still. Especially with the surface. Like, I'm better with going down and going to fight Kronos, because I've done that more. But at least with the surface, at least whenever you get to the portion where you had to fight Prometheus, it just starts getting worse. Like, his attacks are very easy to predict. They're obviously, I feel like that's on purpose though, especially considering his character. But whenever it comes to his, if you even take get hit, you take so much damage. And all the builds that I do are definitely not that safe, especially for Prometheus. So, and even if I do miraculously beat Prometheus, I will still have trouble after Prometheus, well, with all the monsters and Typhon and stuff like that. I didn't even reach Typhon yet, because I'm still stuck at Hades 2. Oh, it's almost embarrassing to say. But it's true though. But it'll definitely take some trial and error, to say the least. I unlocked everything in the Arcana, so it's not it. You got it. Thank you. Thank you, Scott, on YouTube. But there's definitely a bit of a learning curve that I still have not gotten over yet. And maybe I'm just too stubborn. That is definitely a possibility, I would say. My own stubbornness is refusing to try new builds. Because at first I started out with, I believe it was Ares, or not when I get to, but the problem with that is whenever you get Ares in Hades 2, he's so rare, like good luck with that. And I believe as well, I would do Aphrodite, because I would do Aphrodite and Ares for Hades 1. But they work out a bit differently in Hades 2. Their stuff is slightly different. So I have since moved away from that build in order to do something else. I realized that I really like Poseidon. I like a lot of Poseidon's boons. I feel like that one has the most coverage, at least the stuff that I'm seeking. But then I would get whoever for anything else. Like it can be Demeter, it can be whoever. As long as it's not Hera. I haven't really figured out how Hera works yet. I feel like Hera's boons are very weird. They're very different in comparison to what I'm used to. And I admit I'm still a little worried about how to use Hera's boons properly. It's definitely a bit iffy. But the other debate is actually figuring out if I want to do Hades 2 as an official stream, because I will die over and over. Try Hera. I could definitely try. I can try Hera at some point. I need to try more of the Olympians, and be a little bit more proactive, I would say. But again, the biggest hurdle is definitely just I got into habit with Hades 1, that a lot of those habits I would have to break for Hades 2. I also want to, let's see, what was I talking about before? Oh yeah, so the schedule that I originally got, it had 3 games. I have sent, one of the games was Hades, but I've since discovered a new game I wanted to play, and I feel like that could be a very fun video as well. So I'm probably gonna do that one instead. We'll see, but I'm really considering it because I originally had a decent break for the weekends, and I was okay with that break, but then I realized no, I do not want to break, and I'm gonna probably stream maybe again, not including this week obviously, but next week, starting next week would be literally Sunday. But we'll see, it depends entirely on how I feel in a couple days. We got Buckshot Roulette on the 12th, so I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that. Gambling with my life, and then we'll see how I feel after that. If I'm feeling pretty good, we'll do a stream on Sunday, because why not? But we'll see. It really depends. That's another thing I wanted to mention as well. I wanted to do some more collabs, but I need to find some more collab people that are interested. I already found a couple people who are interested, at least as far as DMs are concerned, as, hey, I exist now, do you want to collab just for funs? Or even if you don't want to collab, I'm down for whatever. And some of them were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Like, why not? But we'll see. I'm definitely trying to plan things out in advance. I'm obviously still trying to focus on the big thing, which is probably the YouTube channel. I would say the YouTube channel is one I'm trying to worry about building up more, because I feel like that would be the strat to build up an audience a bit more. But that's at least the thought process that I have so far. But we shall see. Everything I'm talking about is very much a hypothetical. Let's see, what else did I want to mention? Oh, I was talking to one of my friends, and I showed him a Chicoa plushie, and he's considering buying it for me, and I said, no, don't get me Chicoa plushies. Then I will force everyone to look at Chicoa, my beloved, the best thing ever. So now I'm like, oh god, if I get in the mail and like a Chicoa plushie, I'm gonna cry. But we shall see. I already mentioned the Mewtwo plushie that I put on my throne, but Chicoa is my beloved. There's a reason why I have Chicoa in my room right now, so. Alright. I feel like I yapped for long enough. If you've gotten used to my voice, then thank God. That means this stream worked. Obviously I need to start getting used to just talking more, which I feel like it has definitely improved since last stream. So, if you're here, thank you for obviously being here. I'm also trying to catch up a little bit on the VODs. I'm trying to upload all the VODs to the VOD channel, so that way all of those VODs will be available. For now, since everything has been a little bit iffy on my end, I just leave the VODs up on my main YouTube channel, which is okay for now, but eventually that's going to be for the actual main content, not really for VODs or like the live streaming. I mean, I'll live stream on the main channel, but VODs themselves are gonna go on their own channel. So we shall see. But I think I can confidently say that I'm finally getting to a bit of a rhythm, which is good. Rhythm is obviously good, and start obviously trying to get used to stuff. Always fixing stuff. I mean, there's a reason why chat is still showing, like, all the test messages. But I'm obviously still trying to tweak some things, maybe do a couple changes here and there. We shall see. But a lot of the stuff that I'm trying to work on is stuff that can only be worked on if you start streaming and then you take a look at the VOD and see what needs fixed. Because a lot of stuff that you never really know until you start, you know what I mean? But I believe that is everything, at least for now. Thank you everyone on Twitch and YouTube for showing up for today. Feel free to come back here, not tomorrow, but the day after on the 12th for some buckshot roulette, where I'm probably going to die multiple times. Yippee! In all seriousness, I am excited for that one, because that one is going to be a YouTube video. I feel like that one could be really fun. I even designed a thumbnail for it. Like, I did a little sketch of it. I can maybe on that day I could show you guys, and I can be like, guys, look at my sketch that I made. I made this way out in advance. But then I have to display my art skills that I have not displayed yet at all. Speaking of art skills, I was also going to keep this a surprise, but I plan on doing a drawing Pokemon from memory stream. I feel like that could be really fun. I have a lot of, since that one is definitely going to be a video as well on YouTube, I have been working on a bunch of stuff as well, just to make things a little bit better. Including a new model, potentially. We shall see. I don't know if it's going to be in December or beginning of January, but just know that as soon as that model is done, I'll probably schedule up the drawing Pokemon from memory stream, because that could be really fun. And I'm really excited for it. We'll see how many Pokemon I actually know. Because spoiler alert, I do not know a lot of the newer generations. So if I get like a new generation of Pokemon, I'm probably going to draw something completely wrong. So there's some food for thought, and I'll leave you guys with that, just for stuff to get excited for. I am definitely planning on so much stuff that I wish I could talk about it, but I would rather admittedly leave you in the dark. I want everything to be a surprise, because I feel like things are better that way. So, with all that said, thank you everyone on Twitch, thank you everyone on YouTube for being here. Feel free to show back up here for Buckshot Roulette on the 12th. Hold on, let me check the times. Alright, time 4 p.m. EST, 1 p.m. PST, and 9 p.m. UTC on the 12th. Where I'm gonna gamble with my life, and it'll be very fun. Alrighty. I hope everyone has a fantastic day or night wherever you are watching this from. And I will see you in a couple days. Alrighty. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.